All right, what up, y'all? So, recently on this page, we've been talking about selling in wrestling. We've been talking about how big moves really don't matter as much as they used to. And I've seen a few people bring up about specifically finishers and how finishers don't mean anything anymore. Now, to me, I think the finisher thing is a bit different because there are still some very protected finishers, the RKO. I guess you can say on some levels, the tombstone when it's like in WWE only. In AEW, obviously, that's not the case. They're trying to bring back power drivers, Spears, they're used by everyone. So the last time I believed a spear was going to win a match is when Roman did it. And that's merely because of Roman's booking. It wasn't because of the move itself. He could have had a damn big boot. If that was Roman's finisher, he was going to win with it. The super kick has been destroyed. The choke slam is damn near set up. The DDT used to be like a finisher with Jake the Snake, and that's become damn near set up. Because Randy Orton, he uses it like a signature move. Drew McIntyre, it used to be his finisher back in the day, and then now it's like his signature move. And now it's the Claymore is his finisher. Who else is a DDT? Edge had like an impaler DDT, like you landed like more like flat on your face instead of like the top of your head, but that was also a setup. As far as I know, I don't think anyone is like winning matches with a DDT these days. And that's crazy because the DDT is literally one of the most like devastating moves to do if done correctly, like they used to. But it's just like, but my thing with finishers is these days you have to do like 2, 3, 4 of them to win a match, and the problem is when you have something like that where you're doing 2, 3 of your finisher, eventually you're going to have to beat people who aren't on the same level as your big opponent. So you may not need to hit your finisher 4, 5, 6 times. You know what I'm saying? Like when Cody hit it on Roman at WrestleMania, he needed 3. The last spot was 3 crossroads. So hit your finisher 3 times. Everyone knew, okay, this is probably the end of the match. But when Cody went against Chad Gable on SmackDown, 1 crossroads and we were going home. So in my head, it's like, okay, does that damage the character of Chad Gable? Obviously people know that Roman and Gable, and I feel like I spoke on this point before, but everyone knows that Roman and Gable aren't on the same level. But does that damage the reputation of Gable that, it takes 4 or 5 crossroads to beat Roman, but it only takes 1 to beat you? You know what I'm saying? Doesn't that... But I don't think people care that much these days, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was more of an old school mentality. I don't think really people are thinking that deeply into it. But I just do wish, like, finishers really finished matches. You know what I'm saying? Like, beyond selling now, like, selling is a very small part of it. It means something to me because I very rarely see superstars sell moves these days after getting hit with a devastating power driver, body slam, something like that. These just pop up, And I wanted to do this too because in the video, I feel like part of what I was trying to communicate got lost in translation at times. Recently, I think it was Randy Orton. He did his DDT to Jacob Fatu, and Jacob completely no-sold it, got up and roared, you know what I'm saying? He did the whole thing. I love that. The problem is, no selling in wrestling is not something that should be just completely taken out. If no selling is placed correctly in the right places, it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Jacob Fatu has built the character around him that it takes a lot to knock him down. So it makes sense for his character to not be able to be dropped by Randy's signature move, you know what I'm saying? Or kick out at 1. The problem is everyone does it. And if you're going to have a superstar that you say, all right, he's not going to sell any moves, you build that early, you know what I'm saying? And that's what they did with Jacob Fatu. They let everyone know, hey, this guy is damn near unstoppable. So you're going to have to do a whole bunch of big moves just to keep him down. That was something that was shown to us very early in the full presentation of Jacob Fatu. So when he does it, people aren't surprised. It gets a pop from the crowd. But if every superstar is doing it in every match for every spot, we run into a problem. And again, this is not an AEW only problem or a Black and Gold NXT problem or a TNA problem. This is a modern wrestling problem. and both of the no selling and the finishers thing, they coincide, but I feel like in the same way they are different, because no selling can happen at a punch, a kick, a takedown. Anything can happen where a no sold is done. But for a finisher is supposed to finish the match. Not if you don't even understand that, think about how the video games used to be back in the day. The older games, if you hit a finisher on your opponent, 9 times out of 10, you were gonna win that match. In the games, it seems like there is a little bit of a power imbalance, because they're trying to simulate what happens on TV, and what happens on TV, 9 times out of 10, the finisher ain't gonna get them, and especially the superstars that have like a big like lead up to their finisher. Like, when was the last time Randy did his taunt? When he like gets on his fist and pounds the ground. When he gets up, usually the RKO is reversed. When was the last time he did that taunt, got up and hit the RKO, win the match? It's very rare. He'll do that. He'll get reversed. They'll go on for like 2-3 more minutes, and then Randy will hit an RKO out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, and the match is over. It's basic in-ring psychology, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, I'm not saying anything derogatory about the wrestling of Randy Orton. That's one of the greatest of all time. What I'm saying is the production of matches these days is so much more focused on the moment and the pop, instead of making it seem like these are actually two people wrestling. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I grew up on. What I grew up on is big moves happening and superstars not getting up from them, unless you're talking about WrestleMania. That's why matches like Undertaker and Shawn at Mania 25 are so good, because everyone knows no one kicks out of the tombstone. But Shawn was fighting to beat the streak at WrestleMania. That's a huge match. A match against the Undertaker, Prime Undertaker. That's a once in a lifetime match for Shawn, damn near 3 times in a lifetime. But for that, okay, now I understand the no sell. Now I understand the kick out. And even in that match, as far as I know, I haven't watched that match in a few months. I don't think Undertaker or Shawn no sold anything in that match. I think Undertaker and Shawn, well, obviously, they are very old school, and old school wrestlers sell everything. That's one of the biggest parts of it. There's a difference between, like, I assume in a few months from now we're gonna have another Ospreay and Kenny Omega match. I think it's at AEW Revolution. I think they're building towards it. That match is going to be great, because those are 2 of the best wrestlers in the world, damn near of all time. But there's going to be some no selling. There's going to be some no selling. There's going to be some tombstone off the top rope, and then someone's just going to get up 3 seconds later and then do their move. It's like it's going to be more of like a play than a wrestling match, And there's nothing to the fault of Ospreay and Kenny, really. It's more so to the fault of whoever's producing these matches, who's going there and say, okay, we're doing spot, 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 and not filling anything else in the middle, If I start a match and I just jump into a tombstone, and then my opponent chokeslams me, and then I RKO him, and then he powerbombs me, we're just doing spots. And then I go to the top rope, I miss, he goes to the top rope, he hits it, 1 count, I get up, do a moonsault. We're just doing spots for the sake of spots, And now, I don't know whose finisher is who, because there's very few people that have a unique finisher. I feel like everyone has the same finisher these days. You can count many superstars in one company that all have the same finisher. That's a problem. But there's no way to stop it. There's no way to fix that problem unless you fix it at the source. But it's too late now, to me. You've already made the modern wrestling what it is today. There's no reason to go backwards now. You got to just keep going forward. But what I do think you can do to save it is just slowly change the way you're producing these matches, especially on TV. On the pay-per-views, I understand the no-sell at times. I understand the finisher kick-out at times, but it has to be done correctly. And it really should be only reserved for the bigger superstars. If you want to do it with the smaller ones, cool, but you have to be able to present that to the crowd weeks ahead. So if I see it happen, I'm not like, oh, wow, The finishers are supposed to finish the match. If the finishers don't finish the match, it's just another move, and you're making the superstar less over, because their move that's supposed to be their big move to end the match, it doesn't do anything. So it turns their finishers are freaking a Phoenix Splash. It turns their Phoenix Splash into a damn leg lock. if it doesn't win the match, and it's called their finisher. Oh, here comes the super duper splash. 1, 2, kick out. And we having a 13-minute match on SmackDown. What are we doing this for? No championship on the line. We're just doing this to pass time. You know? So, again, all of this stuff in wrestling, it's modern wrestling. It is what it is today. The problem is, if you're going to do all this stuff, you have to present it well. You have to present it early. And it has to be executed with the right people at the right time. Or you run the risk of it just being pointless. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know, man. What finishers do you miss? Do you miss the days where finishers used to mean something? You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite finisher in wrestling today? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like the video, subscribe if you're new, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below what kind of video you want me to do next. Except I love you guys. Praise God. I will see you in the next video, man.